Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Facebook Nation, how are you? Hey, it's Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. Nikki Smith. That's Knowledge by Nikki. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., etc. How are you all in Facebook Nation today? I am happy. Today I'm actually on my way to Mentorship Miami with Denise Michelle. I'm on my way to teach a business class. Those of you all that know me, I see some of my wonderful Stretch members on here. What's up? Give a little shout out, Stretch members. I see you all, and I enjoyed my coaching calls with you all yesterday. I know you all think I'm teaching you stuff, but I learned stuff too. Let me tell you what I want to talk about today. And this is something that I want every salon owner to listen to good. You might have to go back and listen to this one. What I want you all to realize is that there is a difference in growing your business and building your business. And I think, and I learned this, well, let me not say learned it, but it kind of was solidified yesterday when I did the coaching calls with my Stretch members. It really solidified that we have to make a clear definition between when I'm building and when I'm growing my business. There's difference. So let me just put it in layman's terms. Let me take it out of the business context for right now. Let's just talk about building a house. If you decide, single, you're married, you and your husband, whoever, wants to build a home, the things that, for anybody that's ever done it, you can attest to what I'm saying. The things that are involved in building a home, you have to deal with blueprints. You have to deal with all the way down to the type of, if they're going to use wood or steel, if they're going to, how deep is the basement going to be dug? I mean, you got to deal with some straight up foundational principles that help establish the foundation of this house. That would be equivalent to when you're building, say, your clientele. There are foundational principles. You got to come up with a blueprint. This is kind of your marketing strategy just for getting people in the door. It's very different than when you're growing. So when you're building a house, you got to deal with all those things. You got to deal with blueprints, what the paint color is going to be. I mean, you really even more than that. You got to deal with what type of insulation you want. There's a lot of things to building a home just to get the home solid so that you and your potential family can grow and dwell within this house. Okay? And that requires a whole set of responsibilities that some people have opted not to take because it is a great task. Now, let's talk about growing your business. And I'm going to give you some definitions. Y'all know I love definitions, right? Let me give you the definition of building first. Building is about establishing or giving form to. That means that I'm just trying to establish this thing. I ain't got no workers. I ain't got no nothing. I'm just trying to get this place set up in every possible way that I can where it can be beneficial to whoever lives in this house. Okay, so there are a lot of things that some of us did think of, some of us didn't, when we were building this or establishing this building or salon that we now want people to dwell in. Okay, so that's building. Let's talk about growing your business or growing your home or growing your family. When we talk about growing, we're doing something very different. The foundation and the building is established. We in the house. We're here. The walls is up. It's painted. We probably even got furniture already. But when you talk about growing your building or growing your home or growing your business, now you're doing something that is called leverage. Leverage is different than establishing a building. So let me give you the definition of leverage. When you are leveraging something, that is your ability to influence a system or an environment in a way that multiplies the outcome of one's effort without corresponding increase. In other words, if you decide in a house, now you've decided you're going to have 3 kids in your house. You have to figure out, are you going to build an addition, which is going to cost you money? Or are we going to set up these bedrooms where 2 can sleep in the bedroom, 3 can sleep in the bedroom, somebody's going to take the basement. We're going to take what we already got, and we're going to leverage it so that it can now accommodate our growth. Okay? That is the difference. What is this? I want to put it in this context. When we talk about salons versus suites, salons and you coming into a salon is so that you can build your business. Salons are for building. Suites are for growing. So if you brand new and you got 5 clients, a suite is not for you. You cannot grow your business or build your business in the average suite. You have nothing. You haven't even established a blueprint. You haven't even built a foundation yet. You don't even know what you gonna need so that you can then grow your family, so to speak. So if you are not in a position where you have actually built something yet, then a suite is not for you. If you are now in a position where you have grown, you have built your business, you have built a clientele, you have built things, but now you're at a point where it's time to grow, that means it's time to leverage what you already have first. And the reason I say this first, and this is where I'm going with this, I have a lot of salon owners that I deal with way outside of my coaching session that actually are always wanting to keep building and never leverage. In other words, if you have a salon and you have not maxed that joker out, I'm talking about retail everywhere. I'm talking about everybody in your salon. You've helped build them and you got them established. There ain't no more room for no more workers. We can't add a nail tech. We can't add a eyelash girl. We can do nothing else in this place because we have leveraged every aspect of space, every opportunity of adding retail, every possible class that we could have here. Leverage this place. Keep your expenditures at a standstill, which is what it means by, let me read it again. That's what it means by ability to influence a system. That means I'm going to influence the outcome here because I'm growing my business now. I'm not building it. So I'm going to influence the outcome with what I already have. That's what I'm going to do first. And then I'm going to do it in a way where it does not have corresponding increase. That means I ain't spending no more money to make some more money. That is leveraging your business. What I'm finding, the reason I felt the need to do this, is every time one of my salon owners I talk to, whether it's in my coaching group or wherever it is, they constantly want to keep building. When you feel your business, you want to do some extra stuff, the first thing you want to do is you want to go get a bigger space that's going to cost you more money, that you got to do more. I said this yesterday to one of my coaching members, and it's not the first time I've said this. If you are going to do the same thing in a bigger space, 10% of 100 is the same as 10% of 1,000. It does not change. Unless you are building something else, that means I got corresponding increase now. I got money I got to spend now. Unless you're building something else to now change the marketing structure, or now I got too many kids for this house and I not only want to build to accommodate more children, but I also want to bring my business home, which means I'm saving money over here. That means I am now building with the intention of doing something differently. Don't keep building to do the same stuff. That makes no sense. And you haven't even leveraged yet what you already have. Leveraging is growing your business. It is taking what I have and making it the best possible scenario, financially, emotionally, intellectually. I don't care how you want to look at it. It is making it the best possible business that it could be, where there is nothing else that we can do in this space, and then we got to go build a new house. That's how that needs to be looked at. I'm seeing too many of my salon owners that are steady. You 20 years later and you still building. You haven't leveraged anything. You aren't growing your business. You just constantly building, constantly getting something bigger and spending more money and doing the same thing of it. And then it comes down to the same ratio. You spending the same money, just more of it. You got the same workers. You're not doing anything differently. Every time you think that you are going to need to rebuild again, you go back to the table, go back to the developer, say, look, I need a new blueprint for my business. I have maxed this out. There's nothing else that I can do here. I have used every wall, every crack, every space, every crevice. I've done everything I can do here. And now I have come to the realization that in order for me to now grow my business differently, I need to now build myself. That means we back to the foundation, a brand new house. That is what I want my salon owners to understand, because this constant belief that bigger is going to just bring more money, bigger also brings more expenses. It brings more bills and more people. You got more things to manage. You got more attitudes and things you got to deal with. So I'm not saying that at some point we all want to grow to where we go from a storefront to a retail space to owning our own building. All of those things are great. But don't run and constantly build something else when you have not maximized what you have. That's what I'm not seeing. We are not maximizing our truest potential. I got to use this statement. I've said it before. Oprah said, someone asked Oprah, what is the difference between making something happen and letting something happen? Oprah said it best. She said, when you make something happen, that's when you done all the work. The foundation is built. There's nothing else to do. I now am going from building to growing. Growing is letting it happen. Growing is sitting in the same house. And if that means you got to get a new roof, a new garage, you got to tear some walls down and reconfigure, whatever it is that you need to do, make what you have work for you first. Then talk about running and going and getting some more stuff. I have people ask me all the time, how did you get to the point that you have all the opportunities that you do, and you're teaching and doing, I do a lot of stuff, y'all. You're doing all this other stuff. Matter of fact, to God be the glory, I now can turn some stuff down. But I have people fresh out of school. How is it that you get to do all of this? You know what I tell them? They'll say, because I want to do what you do. You know what I tell them first? Master your chair first. That's what you do. You focus on mastering that chair. You focus on that's the stage you're in. You're in the stage where you're building clientele. You worried about all this other stuff. Okay, this is what I need you to do. Master the chair first. Learn about people. Learn about customer service. Learn about difficult people. Learn everything you can about people. Get that chair master where it ain't no more clients you can do in the times that you're willing to work. And then let's talk about doing something else. Because there are going to be some lessons that come with leveraging that will prepare you for when you want to build again. There are going to be some lessons in that. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes when you get your house just like you want it and you got low expenses and you like, I think I'm just going to sit right here. Because at some point, let me say this to you, and this is kind of on a whole nother page, but at some point, you have got to want to see your returns and your money grow at a faster rate than you keep going out and getting some new stuff. We need to get to the point where we're leveraging and we get comfortable just for a minute. Sit there, let your money grow. Let what you've already invested in work for you, grow for you, make you a ton of money, build you some great relationships, some great resources. That way, when you really decide, okay, for real, y'all, I want to go buy the big house now. You have saved, you have learned, you have stacked, You have built resources. You have built every possible thing that you can build to now you're in a position where you got so many choices. I don't have to just buy any house. Now I got my credit in a situation where I ain't got to go rent a space no more. I can go buy a building because I sat here long enough, got myself together personally, professionally, built this house in a way, or built this business in a way where I let it build as my money bill, my credit bill, personal credit, business credit, get stuff together while you're leveraging what you already have. And I know that's something that us black people, I'm just going to put it out there. When we get a little money, we just want to go buy bigger. We want to just go buy. We done got a couple more dollars, and now instead of a $300 car note, we think we can afford a $600 car note. I'm going to say this from a financial standpoint. You have got to stop as black people. I'm going to put myself in it too. I used to live at the top of what I could afford. I used to live that way. And let me tell you what happens when you live at the top of what you can afford. You can't handle anything going wrong. Nothing can go wrong. If something goes wrong, you're done. You're done. You do not want to live where you cannot stand for any mistakes to happen because you got a car note that's at the top of what you can afford. You got the business that's way past what you can afford. You know you can't even afford this by yourself because if 3 workers ain't here, now you got to take from your house to pay for this because you just want it to be bigger. Bigger is not better. And I'm not saying that as a cliche. That is the truth. I told one of my stretch members yesterday, and I've kind of always thought this way to some degree, but I didn't realize there was a name for it. There is a way now that a lot of successful business owners have adopted, all the way from Jeff Bezos that owns Amazon and several more, and it is called essentialism. I've always thought like this, but now that I understand what it really is, there is a book. I want everybody that cares about living better to buy it. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. It's M-C McKeown. M-C-K-E-O-W-N. And it's called Essentialism. Essentialism is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle of choices about leveraging what you already have, trade-offs. He says it best. I'm going to see if I can say it the way he says. There's always going to be a bunch of trivial good things, but you want to spend your time on the few greater things. That he says it something like that. It's really, I love the way he says it. This is, even if you don't go totally into essentialism, this is something that we have to start adopting as far as the principles of how we run our business, because if we don't, we're going to keep having corresponding increase every time we call ourselves growing our business. We spending more money too, and you have not maxed out what you have. You still ain't got what you got together. It's like buying a house. You didn't even get this house straight. You left it in a catastrophe, and then instead of fixing it, you go buy another house. You didn't even fix that one. You didn't even make that one work. You didn't even master what it means to hire people for your blueprint at that one. You know, I say all the time, and this is no diss to people who feel like they need to move to another state in order for their lives to be better. But I'm going to put it out there. If you don't get it where you live, what's going to be different when you go to another state? What you going to do differently? Because the you is the same you that's here as the same you that's going to be when you go somewhere else. So what's going to be different? You just going to start it up in another state. If we don't develop the principles of getting it internally and coming up with some things that we can sit still for a minute. Patience is truly a virtue. And if you don't have it, lack of patience will have you broke and will have you where you lose your dream and lose your business. So we have got to understand building is one thing, growing is another. Building is just establishing the foundation with whole different principles. We are basically saying, okay, this is how I want the house to look. Now, when you get to the point that you're growing your business, that means even as a salon owner, you can take some of the things that you do and leverage it to help grow your business. Meaning, if you're a person, you got some accolades and you got some skill set, you could use that to bait people in to coming into your business, to grow your business, then you do that. But that don't mean you spending no more money. You might be giving up a little more time, but that's worth it to grow your business. Just like when you have a kid. When you have a kid, you're growing your family. Trust me, you giving up some time. You giving up some time. You giving up some energy. You giving up a whole lot, but you are leveraging what God has already given you. So this is what I want to see. This is what I want. I don't want all y'all telling me you just want to go. You want to go from a 2,000 square foot place to a 10,000 square foot place. Y'all may not like it when I say it, but if you ask me to help you, the first thing I'm going to tell you is get this right first. That's the first thing I'm going to say to you. Before you talk about going and doing all this extra stuff, let's get this together first. That's what you're going to hear from me. So if you don't like it, then I might not be the person you want to ask, because that's what you're going to hear. I don't understand it any other way. Cause see, I didn't been there where, like I said, I spent at the top of what I could afford. I bought everything I thought I wanted to buy, and it cost me. And God had to allow me to have the entire carpet pulled from under me and go back to nothing. And then I had to build. I had to rebuild it all over again. And then with the little bit that I sustained from the loss of everything, I had to then leverage what I had to grow what I needed to do. You don't want to keep going through that. It does not make financial sense, personal sense. I don't care how you want to look at it. It does not make sense to keep building and building and building. I was watching Marcus Lemonis on The Prophet. I love him. I was watching him, and I don't remember the name of this business, but he was dealing with, it's like a hot dog stand. And this hot dog stand had been somewhere in business for ever, 100 years or something like that. I mean, really a long time, long before I was born. And all they sold was hot dogs, chips, I think a little ice cream, and that's it. And their business, I mean, wherever it was, they lined up around the corner, down the block for these hot dogs and these chips and all this other stuff. And they decided they wanted to grow their business, and they decided they wanted to start selling hamburgers. They wanted to start selling hamburgers and something else, and their business started to fall. Their business started to fall. Marcus came in, and they also wanted to add to this little hot dog stand, make it bigger for people to sit down and this and that. And he basically told them, what you had was working. It was work. He told them, I would rather you go duplicate this exact little hot dog stand that don't sell nothing but chips and hot dogs and whatever else they sell. I'd rather you go replicate what's working than to constantly think. And he's not saying this is not the case with everybody. He said, I would have rather you said, I'm going to go build me another hot dog stand just like this in 15 more places and let it work the same way, because all they're doing now is they're leveraging a business that already worked. He said, but what happened now, they done took on, I forgot, it was some ungodly amount of loan to extend this hot dog joint and make it this restaurant, and they now losing money. They had not lost money in over 20 years. They had way over what their net profit probably should have been for years. And now the first time in 20 years, you losing money. So sometimes, guys, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, duplicate it. Y'all hear me? You ain't got to fix it. If it really ain't broken, it's working, just duplicate it. You don't have to always do that. So these are some of the business principles that I want you all to understand. But I am here at my destination at Sophia Brandon's, and I gotta go, y'all, because I'm getting ready to go teach a business class. If they let me stream it, I'm gonna stream it. So peace out. Knowledge by Nikki. Hey, Brandon. So Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. He just pulled up. I'm gonna get set up. Y'all know I'm an early bird. I'm here before everybody. But y'all get that. Building and growing is two different things. If it ain't broke, I ain't say don't duplicate it. Don't fix it, duplicate it. You got something working, work it. Okay? Quit thinking about going and spending more money and I'm not saying that's not sometimes the answer. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is make sure that when you decide to go build something else, that what you already got is working the absolute best that it can work. Make sure of that. That's all I'm saying. All right, I gotta go, y'all. Peace out. Gotta go to work. See you tomorrow.